हेलो व्यूअर्स, वेलकम टू अ न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ जागृति। आज के इस अंक में हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में हैं कर्नल गुरसेवक सिंह। कर्नल गुरसेवक, आपका हमारे स्टूडियो में बहुत बहुत स्वागत।
थैंक यू मैम।
कर्नल गुरसेवक सिंह को स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट गुरु कहा जाता है। ये मैरिटल काउंसलिंग में भी प्रख्यात हैं। इन्हें रेखी, प्राणायाम, प्राणिक हीलिंग, योगा में भी महारत हासिल है। 1969 में इन्होंने रेजिमेंट ऑफ आर्टिलरी में अपना कमीशन पाया और उसके बाद रिटायर होने के बाद इन्होंने आर्मी, एयरफोर्स, पुलिस, स्कूल्स, कॉलेजेस, कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर और अन्य बहुत से लोगों के लिए बहुत से सेमिनार्स और वर्कशॉप्स आयोजित किए हैं स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट पर, हैप्पीनेस पर और अनेक और विषयों पर। तो आज ये हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में हैं और इनसे आज हमारा चर्चा का विषय रहेगा स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट। तो कर्नल गुरसेवक, सबसे पहले तो आप हमें बताइए कि स्ट्रेस एक्चुअली है क्या?
Without going into the textbook definition of stress, stress is a feelings created in your mind due to your body's reaction to certain events and situations. Now, events could be something like death in the family, road accident, loss of job, loss of property, even failure in examination. Situation, if it is at the place of work, we call it professional stress. If it is in your home, we will term it as a domestic stress. If stress is due to certain bad emotion, we call it emotional stress. The combination of all these stress is a physical stress.
तो आपने इतने सारे स्ट्रेसेस के बारे में हमें बताया और हम जरूर इन सबको अपनी लाइफ में फील करते हैं, बट मे बी वी डोंट नो द एग्जैक्ट डेफिनेशन ऑफ दीज स्ट्रेसेस। जैसे आपने कहा पर्सनल स्ट्रेस, डोमेस्टिक स्ट्रेस, तो ये होते क्या हैं एक्चुअली? प्रोफेशनल स्ट्रेस?
Okay, we take example of each type of stress. Now, professional stress, general feeling is that professional stress is due to pressure of work. Not entirely true. If you love your job, if you are compatible with your job, and if you are competent, there will no professional stress. Professional stress occur when you do not come up to the expectation of the organization or your boss. The reason for that could be, one, you are not competent to hold that job. There is a Peter's principle that each one of us reaches a level of incompetence. And second is when you are not compatible with the job. Now, for example, say a teacher, she has a great knowledge of her subject, she is very intelligent, she is highly qualified, but her communication skills are bad. Now, she can't be a good teacher. She will be misfit there, but it doesn't mean she is useless. She can be a good writer, she could do a lot of research work. So it is the question of compatibility with the job. Then there is no stress. So that is professional stress. Now, coming to the domestic stress, the main cause of domestic stress is your relationship, strained relationship, bad relationship. If your relations are good with with your parents, with your siblings, with your children, with your neighbor, and even in the office with your boss, colleague, or your subordinate, you will find the stress level is down. I can give you example. Suppose, take example of a traditional husband who is working and wife is a home engineer. Now, husband comes home after days hard work and wife receives him well, offer him cup of tea, she is cheerful. His stress is gone. On the other hand, as soon as he reaches home, there is no one to answer the doorbell, because wife is busy in the card games or she is middle of some serial. She takes her own time to get up and come.
Or and maybe she has also been through a rigorous day's work. Maybe she is also working.
No, here we are taking example of the husband is working, wife is a home engineer. She is a housewife. A traditional example. So, and instead of asking him a cup of tea or being cheerful, she has a long list of complaints. I told you to do this, have you done it? So the stress level is. So basically, if you have cordial relationship, stress reduces. If you have strained relationship, it increases. So that is domestic stress. Then there is a stress due to negative emotions. Now when I say negative emotions, it means the negative thoughts, negative emotions like feeling of jealousy. उसकी गाड़ी मेरी गाड़ी से बड़ी, उसका बच्चा मेरे बच्चे से आगे कैसे निकल गया,
उसकी शर्ट मेरे से वाइट ज्यादा क्यों,
उसकी साड़ी मेरी, तो all that. Then feeling of irritation, feeling of anger cause lot of stress. Feeling of guilt. Now feeling of guilt occurs when you know that this is wrong and yet you do it. That means you are going against your conscience. For example, telling lies, cheating, indulging into certain extramarital affairs, dishonest act. All that when we do, we are going against our conscience. That causes a lot of stress to us. Then the fear. In students there is a fear of examination. A soldier may have a fear of death. Then there is a fear of uncertainty. अभी क्या होगा? मेरी पोस्टिंग यहाँ आने वाली है, मैंने बच्चे अभी सेटल किए थे, अभी नई जगह स्कूल होगा नहीं होगा. All these comprises emotional stress. Now combination of all this stress leads to a physical stress where your energy is sapped, you are exhausted and you are tired. So these are the various type of stress.
So Colonel Gursevak, it is not wrong to conclude that stress is a part and parcel of our life. But then there have to be ways and means by which we should be able to handle stress. So what do you think should an average person do to handle this stress? Because he is a professional person. We all are individuals who stay with family. We all have emotions and we all get physically stressed. So how should we handle this stress?
Actually, before that, as you rightly said, the stress is a part of our life. There is a wrong impression that all stress is bad.
Okay.
Actually, all stress is not bad. Certain amount of stress is required for the basic functioning of your body. Okay. In the absence of this stress, we become so lazy and lethargic that we will not even perform our normal duties. Now, if there were no stress, I would not have reached at 9:30 today. I have taken my own time.
Yeah.
So, this is called
yes.
use stress. In other words, good stress.
Okay.
It is only when this level of this good stress crosses a particular limit, we call it tension tolerance level, TTL,
Okay.
wherein it starts adversely affecting your body and mind. Then it is called, simple word, bad stress. Now it is this bad stress we must learn to manage.
So how can we manage this bad stress?
Now, how can we manage also before that, if we can say that how this stress affects our human body?
Okay.
Then we will be able to understand that
how
what
to
step
manage.
to manage it.
Okay.
Now, this human body actually, there is a part of human body called nervous system. So stress is directly linked to your nervous system. So we will just discuss little bit of nervous system so that it's easier for you to understand one. Now the nervous system in the human body, basically there are two ways of dealing with it. One is called somatic nervous system. Somatic nervous system is that where you have a control. If I pick up this glass of water and keep it here, I have a control. Other is autonomous nervous system. Autonomous nervous system is we have no control. Okay. It is through your subconscious mind. That means whatever is happening to us, digestion is going on, blood is circulating, we are breathing. We are not controlling it. It's automatic. So this is happening through autonomous nervous system. Now the stress is linked to this autonomous nervous system. Okay. Now it functions through two channels. One channel is when you are relaxed. There is no stressful situation. Okay. So it's a normal and we perform our function. The problem arises when there is a stressful situation, something wrong goes. Your stress thing is triggered. Then the normal system fails. Okay. We are shifted to the emergency channel. Technically these are called sympathetic channel and parasympathetic channel. Okay. But we will confine this to normal channel and emergency channel. Okay. Now, little proceeding further, what all happens inside, that is we should understand that part. Okay, when there is a stressful situation arises, something has happened, normal channel fails, the certain stress hormones are released in your blood. mainly adrenaline. When that stress hormone is released in your blood, your body undergo instant changes. And these instant changes are for good of us. This is part of our defense mechanism. If it were not there, we will die with stress. Now, what are those changes? It's interesting to know that. Now, since this is part of your defense mechanism, you need more strength to deal with that stress which you are getting. So, you need more oxygen. So, the breathing becomes faster. Now, this oxygen is to be taken around your system by the blood vessels. So, your pumps start working fast. Your blood pressure starts rising. Your pulse rate starts rising. So, the oxygen is taken all around in your system. So, you are getting more strength. The liver, which releases glucose, starts releasing more glucose in your system, because glucose is a energy. Then your stomach stops its work of digestion. It says this can be done later on. Now we preserve this energy to deal with that stress. Then the capillaries on your skin are also contrived, and the blood contained there is diverted to other organs, mainly your brain. You must have noticed that when you are under stress, your brain functions fast. So, in fact, certain people, you notice that they produce good result when under pressure. So, but in the bargain, what happens is you look pale. You must have noticed that when you are under fear, when you are under threat, your skin is pale, because the blood has been,
and it shows on the face.
It shows on your face because the blood has been diverted to other organs. Then also many things other happen, like your all muscles become so tense that even if there is a lathi blow on you, you won't feel pain that time. A soldier,
it is like a soldier in a war.
Soldier fighting a war. I saw it in 71 war. There is a soldier who got number of bullets. He was not aware of number of bullets. He didn't feel the pain unless the bullet hit him at the vital part, where he later come to the injury. But if your bullet goes through your limb or this thing, that time you don't come to know. It is later that there is a pain or something. So because it is the nature who has made you that way. And certain muscles become loose also. Not all muscle become tense. Like that of your rectum muscle become loose. Now day-to-day example you can take. When there is a bad news or shocking news, you find there is a urge to visit loo more often. Not only that, when you get a good news also there is a urge to visit loo, because you get so excited. Our system doesn't understand the news is good or bad. This we have made it. The nature has made the system. So system function that way. So,
and here I would like to ask, is there any age at which the stress level actually starts, or is it very natural to people that even very younger people, say even children, get stressed, and many elderly people would also not? Or is there any particular age group beyond which people start getting more stressed?
I don't think there is a direct correlation with age. It is more to do with the circumstances and the way you handle it. Age, because you find the primary school boy is also stressed. You find the elderly senior citizen is also stressed. It is a question of what are the circumstances, events and situation around him. Then he gets stressed. Here I want to tell you this is a very interesting phenomenon, that this is a prehistorical fact. Our forefathers in prehistorical days used to go for hunting in the jungle, and they used to meet the wild animals. Now seeing the wild animal with this stress response, they could either fight with that wild animal or take a flight to save themselves. So from those days, this is called fight or flight stress. So this fight and flight phrase is from those days. Now, those days the wild animal used to meet our forefathers only once in a while, maybe once in a month. So whatever the stress hormones or the emergency measures were taken, they used to come back to a normal channel, and no permanent damage is caused to your body. So that was then. And now today, this wild animal is with us right from the morning till you go to sleep. Certain people take him to the bedroom also, because they don't get sleep. You are late in the morning supposed to get up, then you are rushing to the office. There is a lot of traffic, somebody takes somebody from your left, somebody from right.
Yeah.
You shout at him, he shout back at you. Then you are late, but you'll find the traffic light for you is always red.
Yeah.
Then you are nervous. Come to the office, your boss is not very happy. Every day you are late. And you are in the meeting, your wife calls you up to say your child is not too well, he is to be taken to hospital. So don't we live this type of life from morning till evening?
And I think everybody is living it like this, and so kind of we identify well with everybody in the sense that
Exactly.
everybody is doing like this. But why is it that we feel stress more today, and why is it that our forefathers did not feel it so many years back?
Simple. It's a lifestyle we are into. We are in the modern world where all is happening. There was no mobile, there is no telephone that time, there was no electricity, there was a simple life. Our human body is not designed to take this type of life which we are living today. So we are, now let's understand the effect of all this on your human body. Now that means if you visualize what I told in the beginning, all the time there is a blood pressure is high. All the time your liver is excreting glucose, which lead to the high blood sugar level. If the BP is high, it leads to the hypertension level. The arteries leading to your heart and brain also get contrived. So if the level of bad cholesterol in your body was little higher than the acceptable one, then there are great chances of having a stroke or a brain hemorrhage.
So stress causes a number of diseases.
These are called lifestyle diseases. Your diabetes, your hypertension, heart attack, all these are lifestyle diseases mainly caused by stress and obesity. These are the two factors. Stress is the main. So, and now you can see the effect of these. That's why can we change the situation, the way the world is? Can we change? No, we cannot change.
We have to
the life, we have to live on this. So what we can do is, we can change ourselves. We can change our lifestyle, one. And second, we learn certain tips to de-stress our system. And third is that despite all that, you will find stress level is still higher than the one you need for the body. Then you have to learn body-mind specialized technique to de-stress yourself every day.
Just mentioned about some tips.
Yes.
So we would definitely like to know the tips to de-stress.
Actually, before I come to the tips, this example I like to give you, which you were discussing with me just we started the interview, that if it is the same stress, why two children, why two people are affected differently? Now this phenomena we must understand in our day-to-day life. Now I will say that this is actually, this also is a tip which I am not discussing, is a part of tips only. But let's take this example that why two people are affected differently by the same situation.
We do see this in the case of children very often.
Even you'll find adults also. Now it is question of your attitude and approach. Now these are two operating words which I shall be using. Attitude and approach. Let's take example of attitude. An example of your school children. Suppose the teacher gave a project to two children, say Ram or Sham, to do it in the weekend. Ram is a very positive child. He accepts it, he is positive. He says, okay, teacher has given me this task, I will be able to show my skill to the teacher, I will be able to impress him. And also this may be useful to me in the exam, it will be useful to me in the later career. So
basically he is using a positive attitude.
He is having a positive attitude and he take it as a challenge to prove his worth. He will get no stress. There is another gentleman, Sham. He basically is a negative man. He is a burden. It's a burden. Such things are never useful in exam. And at the time of when I am getting into a career, I learn it. And this teacher has spoiled my weekend.
I have to watch TV or go out to the...
So I was to go out with my girlfriend or whatever it is. So Sham gets stressed, Ram gets stressed, situation is same. So similarly, if you have a correct approach in life. Now I give you example of day-to-day life. Suppose you get stuck in the traffic jam. We all do sometimes. Now one approach is, which normally most people do, they keep honking the horn, knowingly well there is a vehicle somewhere, and they get irritated, angered, and they think of consequences. Oh, I'll be late. More they think of consequences, more stress is manifested.
Yeah.
So this is one way of dealing with the situation. So you burn yourself. There is another gentleman whose approach is very positive and good. Situation is same. His approach is, he will also think of consequences. He says, okay, I am now in the traffic jam. I will be delayed there. So he takes out his mobile and ring up the people. I'll be late.
Yeah.
So change the program accordingly.
Yes.
Then he relaxes. And then he thinks that traffic jam is not under my control. He sits in his car, put the AC on, and he practices those mind-body techniques to de-stress himself. In fact, he feels happy with the situation. You'll be wondering why. Because he's a normal
he can do those exercises which he would not have done otherwise.
Exactly. Normally you don't get time. He says, here is the time for me to 10-15 minutes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So this is called the correct approach. The other thing comes is that how long you keep that problem in your head. That causes a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Now I will illustrate with example.
Many times some discords at home or office is something which we nurture for very long. We keep it in our mind. We don't let it go away.
Exactly, we don't express it, we won't let it go. For example, in the office also, day-to-day life, we carry the problem home, and from home we carry the problem to the bedroom. Then we don't get the proper sleep. Now I can give you example. Now here's a glass of water. If I say that, what is the weight of this glass? Maybe 200 gram, 250 gram, right? Now if I hold this glass like this for say 5 minutes, what happened to my arm? Nothing much. I can hold it for 5-10 minutes. Well, if I hold this glass like this for 4-5 hours, what happens to my arm? It will start paining. Little bit of tense. And if I hold this glass right from morning till in the evening or रात को भी पकड़ के ऐसे रहूं, what happens to my arm? It will become numb. It could be paralytic. So during this time, did the weight of the glass change? No. Weight is same. Why this different treatment to my arm? Because it is the duration of the time I hold this glass. So our life problems are also like that. If you hold your problem in your head for a few minutes, it's okay, solve it, go. If you hold it for 4-5 hours, it's fine. Before you leave your office, you have solved it, you have come home. Problem is that when we carry problem for days, nights and all.
Normally they say that whenever you have a problem or you had a fight or a quarrel, it's best to solve it and then go to sleep so that you don't carry it to the next day.
So similarly, now I'll ask you a question. Suppose I have to get out of this situation of painful affair. What do? I keep the glass down. That's all. So put the glass down before you retire into your bed for sleep. So these are certain examples. So more tips on the stress management is, there are two major factors which cause lot of stress in our modern life. One is your relationship, which I touched upon earlier. But in this case, relationship with spouse is very important. And other is our growing up children if they are not settled properly. Now say a relationship with your spouse, if they are cordial, naturally I gave that example. For this, there is a need for post-marital counseling and pre-marital counseling. Similarly, our children, they are not focused properly, some of them. They become rebellious and they are not able to concentrate on the studies because of so many distractions by way of internet, by way of modern वेस्टर्न लाइफस्टाइल.
एक्चुअली बहुत से हमारे लोग हैं जो इसी स्ट्रेस का शिकार हैं कि बच्चे उनके ठीक से पढ़ नहीं रहे या ठीक से सेटल नहीं हैं या प्रोफेशनल कॉलेजेस में तो हैं मगर इसके बाद क्या करेंगे. So that is causing a lot of stress to a lot of people.
So other tips which in day-to-day life you can take is that there are certain situations around us for each individual they cause lot of stress. So the best is avoid that situation. You know that this situation is causing me stress. Best is avoid it. There are certain topics when we discuss give you a lot of this lead into argument, like when you discuss politics unnecessary. There is no end to it. When you discuss religion, there is no end to it. So the best is to leave it at that.
Avoid it.
Then sometimes you get a lot of work. There are certain people who get a lot of work and they are not able to say no to their bosses. So you have to be discreet sometime and say very graceful no at one point of time. to, rather than accepting too much of load and then getting into stress, it is always to be discreet sometime and say graceful no, that this is enough for me today and then maybe later. Now besides positive approach and attitude, there is another way of de-stressing yourself, that is learning the art of happiness. Now happiness and stress do not go together. You could either be happy or stressful. So if you learn the art of happiness, your stress level is automatically under control.
That's true. So I think for that we need to be with you for a different session to learn all about happiness.
Yeah, you're most welcome. We'll have that. So a lot of other factors like basically if you have your healthy lifestyle, if you get into some meditation, yoga, spend your time usefully and cultivate
keep
some
yourself productively employed.
A lot of senior citizens suffer stress because up to the retirement life has been very hectic. Now this is more applicable to the army officers. They have been, actually the last appointment was very strong. Somebody retired as a brigade commander, somebody as a corps commander. But suddenly he finds there's nothing much to do when he go home except to deal with his own wife, that's all. So keep yourself occupied constructively. Keep your mind, empty mind is a devil's workshop. That's all. Develop a hobby or. So these are the few tips. But more important than this is the specialized technique, the mind-body technique. So that we shall cover on some other day.
कर्नल गुरसेवक, चलते चलते अगर आप हमारे व्यूअर्स को स्ट्रेस से रिलेटेड कुछ और बताना चाहें, कोई एडवाइस कि स्ट्रेस तो जरूर हमारे जीवन में है और आपने इसको हैंडल करने के हमें बहुत से तरीके भी बताए, कुछ और बात अगर आप व्यूअर्स को बताना चाहें.
और बात मैं तो ये बताऊंगा कि योर बेसिक एटीट्यूड एंड अप्रोच इन लाइफ हैज टू बी करेक्ट. यू हैव ए पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड फॉर द सेम थिंग यू वांट गेट स्ट्रेस व्हिच अदर फेलो विल गेट एंड योर अप्रोच.
तो कर्नल गुरसेवक आज हमारे स्टूडियो में आए और इन्होंने स्ट्रेस से रिलेटेड हमें बहुत अच्छी जानकारी दी. इन्होंने हमें ये भी बताया कि स्ट्रेस हमारे जीवन में जरूर है और रहेगा, मगर हमारा राइट एटीट्यूड और राइट अप्रोच इसको कम करने में बहुत लाभदायक सिद्ध होगा. तो थैंक यू सो मच कर्नल गुरसेवक फॉर कमिंग टू द स्टूडियो एंड एनलाइटनिंग अस अबाउट स्ट्रेस. थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी फॉर दिस.